A calm voice in the dark. Welcome to Black Background Lectures. Jim Rohn used to tell one of the most sobering stories in the Bible, not to preach religion, but to warn every human heart against the quiet danger of selling out too cheaply. Judas Iscariot walked with Jesus for 3 years. He watched blind men see. He watched dead men rise. He heard the greatest teachings ever spoken. He was entrusted with the money bag. Then, one night, for 30 pieces of silver, about 4 months' ordinary wages, he betrayed everything he had seen, everything he had become, everything he could have been. Jim would pause and let the room feel the weight. Then he would say quietly, "The tragedy is not that Judas betrayed Jesus. The tragedy is that he did it for 30 pieces of silver. He did it so cheaply. Most people never betray their health for $1 million. They betray it for another dessert, another hour of sleep, another cigarette. Most people never betray their future for a fortune. They betray it for an extra hour of television, for the snooze button, for "I'll start tomorrow." Most people never betray their integrity for a palace. They betray it for the approval of the wrong crowd, for not rocking the boat, for staying quiet when they should speak. 30 pieces of silver. Jim said the day you decide your values are not for sale at any price, your life begins to soar. Until then, you are always one temptation away from ruin. He told the story of a young man offered a promotion if he would falsify one report. "Just this once," they said. "It's only a small thing." The young man refused. Years later, the company collapsed in scandal. The young man who refused went on to build an honest fortune. The ones who took the 30 pieces of silver lost everything. Jim said the marketplace has an uncanny memory. It always pays the person who cannot be bought. It always punishes the person who can. Here is the part most people miss. The 30 pieces of silver rarely look like money. Sometimes they look like comfort. Sometimes they look like fitting in. Sometimes they look like avoiding conflict. Sometimes they look like everybody else is doing it. But they are always 30 pieces of silver. Jim learned this the hard way early in his career. A business partner offered him a deal that would make him rich quickly if he would just look the other way on some questionable practices. Jim walked away. The partner called him foolish. 5 years later, the partner was in prison. Jim was free and prosperous. He said, "I sleep better on 30,000 a year earned honestly than I ever would on 30 million earned crooked." That is the reward of refusing the 30 pieces. Here is the gentle practice Jim taught for the rest of his life. Tonight, before you sleep, take out a sheet of paper and write at the top, "These things are not for sale at any price." Then list them: your health, your peace of mind, your marriage, your reputation, your self-respect, your future, your relationship with your children, your honesty. Add anything else that belongs to your soul. Read the list every morning for 30 days. Let it sink in that these things are priceless. Then, when temptation comes, and it will, you will recognize the 30 pieces of silver immediately and walk away without hesitation. The man who knows what is not for sale becomes the most powerful person in any room, because he cannot be bought. He cannot be threatened. He cannot be frightened into silence. He is free. Judas hanged himself in regret. The disciples who refused the 30 pieces changed the world. Choose which story you want to live. Choose tonight. That is today's lecture. If you want tomorrow's lecture, subscribe. See you then.